done it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I still forget running two laptops. Okay. A cook named Matt. Who's a cook named Matt?
Who's that?
It was a YouTube thing for you.
I didn't see it.
And there we go. We're live. So share. Okay. Afternoon, Lisa. Afternoon, Karen. Okay. I think we're done. Yeah. It is there. Hello, Debbie. Okay. I'll put that there. We'll hang fire a minute. See if anyone else going to come and join us. Hope you're all having a good weekend. Seems to have brightened up a little bit this afternoon. Come and say hello if you are watching. I'll get my tea sorted. There we go. All right. We will get started. We'll get cracking. I'm a minute early, but hi, Kathy. Clearly, if anyone wants to watch this back, they can. Nice and simple today. I came fantastic looking chocolates. Kim, hi, Francis. Hope you're well. Yeah, nice and simple this afternoon. Going to make. This is it's an absolute first. I'm going to make, not in that order. So I'm going to start with the rosemary and lemon white panda loaf. Hi, Mara. I'm going to start with the loaf because that takes an hour to cook, and I'd like to sort of bring that out, obviously midpoint of the session. So rosemary and lemon white panda, because I did the rosemary and lemon soda bread a little while ago, and really it was actually probably the favourite of the flavours. So that's first. Then we'll do parkin. Now I made parkin. In fact, it was weeks and weeks ago because it's the parkin that features in the book, as in the picture. So we made the parkin, and then when we sliced it up, we stuck it in the freezer, and we've not had much, but we actually finished it yesterday. So ideal time. And weirdly enough, when we so it's frozen, defrosted it, warmed it a little. So like, you know, from frozen, it's about, I think it was 45 seconds. It tasted a little bit more like Jamaica ginger cake. It went a little bit sticky. And then we're going to do gingerbread pandas, providing everyone recognizes that this is a panda. Yeah, identifies as a panda. So this cutter is identifying as a panda today. So we're going to do some gingerbread pandas. Right, let's get started. Feel free, ask questions while we are live. I shall do my best to help. Especially if you want to know what 20% or 30% of 130 is. Yeah. Anyway, right. Okay. Right. So I'm following. You're all right there. So I'm following the cheese mite loaf recipe because that's the white panda loaf recipe. But obviously I'm omitting the Marmite yeast extract and I'm omitting the cheese and I'm replacing them with lemon and rosemary. Now, with the only other switch that I'm going to do for this as well is that rather than using apple cider vinegar, I'm going to use lemon juice. So it's the same volume and it'll have the same effect. They are both preservatives. They are both going to help with the rise because they're both acidic. So, you know, again, you don't, where it says apple cider vinegar, that's one of the best and cleanest sources of vinegar you can use. You can use alternatives. So we've used, white wine vinegar previously. Right, okay, so it says, and I better follow it, preheat the oven. 180, stick it on there. This will only take sort of like 5 minutes to make the mix. This can be done by hand or stand mixer. Now, I already know that the volume of this dough for my machine is a little bit too limited. So, I'm going to do it by hand. All of the breads can be made by hand. If you're making a double batch, then you would quite comfortably get this into a standard stand mixer. And it just takes all of the issues away. So if you are going to do this, then double up. Make 2 loaves, freeze one down. Don't know why I didn't think about that. Mix the eggs, yogurt, oil, and apple cider vinegar in a large bowl. So it's 4 medium eggs. I don't need the scales just yet. So this bread originated from the cake recipe. So it is best used as a flavoured loaf, although I know people have made it as a straightforward plain white loaf, but it's not the light and fluffy. It is a little bit dense. It's a partially cakey, bready texture. So it's not, again, it's not a Warburton's white. When we sort of say Panda white, food processor, yes, you could slow speed if you've got a regulated speed on it. And it won't take long either, because you'll see from this it is a batter. You just wouldn't want to whip it with a blade, and if you've got a plastic blade, then great. If you've got a slow speed, then even better. Otherwise, it's pulse. 4 eggs, 100 grams of olive oil. You could use butter. I mean, they interchange that to oil or butter. I suppose I keep thinking about it, and I haven't done it. One of the fats that I've never used in bread, but I've seen it in many recipes, is lard. Maybe next time. 145 grams of yogurt. Right, I've only got Greek yogurt here today, so they didn't have any of the cheaper stuff over at Sainsbury's earlier. So I'm using the thicker stuff. So I may need to water it down just a little bit. Although I could just add a little bit of extra lemon juice. Right, let's do the lemon as well then, while we're at it. So I might as well, I'm going to grate the lemon in there. So again, I haven't done this one previously. If thinking about it, the grated lemon needs to go in now. Larder cake, yeah. Funny enough, Francis, it was in the Chinese cash and carries that we saw lard used the most in the breads that are there. I was like, right, okay, I need to use it. I need to and they were sort of light, fluffy, actually sweet cakes as well. Sorry, sweet breads as well. So you just want to get the outer skin, just the yellow, don't go deeper. So lightly grate. That's where the flavour is. You start getting into the white, you start getting the bitterness. I mean, it's only going to weigh sort of like 3 or 4 grams, but 1 lemon is going to be more than enough, as we're going to add a little bit of juice as well. So I'll juice both halves, but I may not use all of it. It depends on depends on the size of your lemons, obviously. I'm replacing 10 grams of ACV. So let's see. Yeah, I've still got maybe sort of 5 or 6 grams left. It's good when she catches up, isn't it? What are you making? Oh, the bread. Little whisk. Okay, so we've got our. It almost looks like split yogurt. Looks. Oh, what a shame. Okay, so in a small glass of yeast. Oh no, that's the so that's the yeast extract. I don't need to do that one. So in a separate bowl, we need to mix the Panda flour, the yeast, the bicarbs, and the salt together. So let's get rid of that for a second. So 80 grams of Panda flour. That her snoring, yeah. Hi Heidi. 80 grams of Panda flour. 5 grams of bicarbs and 5 grams of yeast. The bicarbs is what's doing the work here for the rise. The yeast is what's doing the work here for the flavour. Did you add? No. So I've replaced the ACV for lemon juice. So exactly the same volume, but to give it more of a lemony flavour and to sort of keep the acidity there, I've replaced it. So this is the rosemary and lemon white Panda loaf, which is just an adaptation to the cheese mite. So the white Panda is a plain white base. Works best if it's a flavour, not as a plain white loaf, in my opinion. Feel free to try it as a plain white loaf. 5 grams of baking powder. Sorry, bicarbs. I'm right, aren't I? Yeah, bicarbs, not baking powder. Bicarbs. There you go. Now the other one didn't have salt because of the Marmite, so we're going to have just a touch of salt.
As it stands, it smells like lemon drizzle cake.
Yeah, it does smell a bit like lemon drizzle cake at the moment. Okay. Now this is different. It's not a standard white. So these are flavoured whites. So obviously the seeded pandas don't work well for flavour. Hi Esther. So the white Panda is one that works best for a flavoured loaf, like the cheese mite, like the what was we did a Tomato and basil, yeah. So it works best as a flavoured loaf. So they're just different styles. Definitely different styles. Right, okay, so I've got everything in there that I need. Dry ingredients. The only one that I need to add to this is the rosemary. You don't, I mean, a teaspoon is going to be more than enough. I'm just going to crush it as well. So literally just, it's not going to weigh anything. And if you're not a fan of rosemary, then change your herb. However, there we go. That's all it's going to need. Hi, Angela. Add the dry to the wet. Nice and easy. So, spatula time. And it will still be, it's not a bread dough, this. It is a thick batter. So it's not one that you're going to sort of shape by hand. You can see it's a thick batter. And it really doesn't take long to come together. So I have a lined 6-inch round tin. So these are the ones we used to do the Panda loaves in. Yeah, nice and shiny. I mean, a standard cake tin will do. You can do it in a square or in a sandwich loaf tin. This tin, without doubt, has to be lined. I've probably got other tins that I wouldn't need to line, but this one, everything sticks to it. It doesn't matter what you put in it. However, that's going to go straight in. Where's Gemma? Okay. So, just knock out any of the air, just get it nice and level. That's going to rise up to, hopefully, maybe an inch or so over the tin height. That's going to take an hour to cook at 180. Now, obviously, we're clearly going to be here in an hour's time, so we'll hopefully be able to show you properly, like making sure that it is done, because your oven might not be as powerful or as efficient as this one. If it's not a fan oven, then you'll need to increase the time that it's being baked. But after an hour, it'll be good enough to at least check to make sure it's within sort of 10-15 minutes. Right, so an hour. Beautiful. So I told you it's going to be nice and easy today. So the next one is parkin. Parkin is a very strong ginger, quite dense cake. Not something you would typically serve as a tea and cake sort of type of day, is it? I mean, we do. I know we do because we like the really strong flavors, but it's not delicate at all. It's a real smack you in the face ginger cake. You could water it down, but then make something else. Parkin's meant to be. You're meant to feel the glow as the ginger, as you swallow the ginger. It's meant to be a winter, autumn cake. It's a little bit different. If any Northerners are watching and you make parkin traditionally, you get it. It's not exactly the same, but it's a good enough. It's a good enough representation.
It's warm, isn't it?
Yeah, it is warming. Is it an actual Lancashire cake? I mean, I'm Lancashire born, so I'm more than happy to sort of claim it. Is it an actual Lancashire cake? I just know it as a northern cake. I didn't know it actually specified from one area. Right. Okay. let's have a look. And all right, so today I'm normally I do it in the square tin, but because that oven's going to be in use for an hour, I'm going to be using. Okay, let's talk about that. So I'm going to be using the foodie for this one, and I've got a round tin. So specifically, I've got the Ninja round tin. This is a 9-inch tin. So I think, yeah, so baking a 9 to 10-inch round square sort of brownie tin. So this will work fine. And I am going to line it. Because I want to be able to lift it out rather than trying to tip it out. Right, so a bit gritty. It will have texture because of the linseed. Now, if you want it to be less gritty, then you need the ultra fine linseed, or switch this if you want to for ground almonds or almond flour. But parkin is again it's meant to be oats in the original, so it's meant to have a texture behind it. I'll quickly rinse this bowl out and use that again. Now you could use powdered sweetener. Never had an issue with the standard sweetener. However, if you want to make it less gritty, and I kind of show you that now. So I've partially blitzed some golden linseed. There's still some whole in there. You'll struggle at home certainly to get it to an absolute fine, no whole seeds. You would need a industrial or commercial grinder for that. So a bullet will do the job, and it'll do the job where maybe, I don't know, 70-80% of it is blitzed. If you want it a little bit finer, then the sweetener, which is 100 grams, stick it in with the linseed. Again, it sounds a lot, but this is 12 portions, so each portion's got around about 8 grams of sweetener in it. If you feel it's too sweet for you, then reduce it. Let me get my Ninja. Yeah, I remember I remember my gran making parkin for us, obviously, round bonfire night. And as a kid, I hated it because it was too strong. Looking for the blades. I have used them.
Did you put it in the dishwasher?
No, sorry, got it. I put it over near the dishwasher. Yeah, so if you want to blitz it, then blitz it all together. Gonna be noisy, so once more. There you go. So doing anything like that, you have to be careful how long you leave it running for, because obviously these blades generate a huge amount of heat when they're chopping. So that blade currently is warmish. The more heat, the more it's going to stick to the linseed or the sweetener, and you end up with a lump rather than it being actually grated. So, and I can feel this is warm, but it's actually fairly fine. So if you want just for any of your cakes, if you want to blitz it, I honestly don't know whether it costs more for the powdered versions as it would for the unpowdered, so the standard granulated. However, I think most of us have got some form of bullet in the house these days. We've got a small coffee grinder that would work. But this is definitely, and this would work for. This, you what? Oh, blimey! Right, okay, yeah. Not everyone's like you. You could use a pestle and mortar, apparently, one seed at a time. You could use a pestle and mortar, yes. But it's going to take you a while to grind down that one. All right. Okay. Melt the butter in a large mixing bowl. All right, I haven't done that yet, so I better... Good thing is we can do all of the dry ingredients in there, and then I think it is literally just butter and water going in, so that's fine. 200 grams of unsalted butter. Do you know what? I thought I read that as 100 grams earlier. Okay, we've just got enough for the ginger as well, for the gingerbread. It's 100 grams for that. I thought it was 100 for each. It's 200. Yeah, this is an intense one butter wise. So that's.
Where does the ginger go in that?
So the ginger's going to go in there because it's a dry ingredient. Yeah. 193. Okay, 200 grams. Let's save that. Right, we're just going to melt this. Just, melt the butter. All right, we can do the rest while we're waiting for the butter. Add the egg and the cream and whisk. Add the water. So they're going to go in with the. I'll do them separately because they're going to go in with the butter, but that's okay. Oh, can you use that one? Use that. Let me add a bit of flour in it. So water and cream. And egg. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So how much water we need? 200 grams of water. One egg. And 50 mils of cream. Never heard of parkin. Well, do you know what, Heidi? Next Sunday, when we're doing the workshop, if you want, you can make some. we'll have everything there. There you go, 50 grams. So, bear in mind, folks, that next week we won't be here because we'll be there. We're going to be at the bakery having a little bit of a workshop. There is one space left. That's it. So if anyone was thinking and hasn't done, then a space is still available, but that's it. And the date for the next one, which I've forgotten now which one it is, what date it is. I think it's the end of October. I think it was set for third weekend of October because we've got the show on the first weekend, busy on the second weekend. So I think we said we'd do it on the third weekend. Okay, I think I've got my liquids sorted out here. 20th, thank you, Karen. Yeah, so I think that's the third weekend of October. So if anyone can't make next week and you wanted to come, then 20th of October for the next one. Okay, 25 grams of ground ginger and 80 grams of Panda. Yeah, I haven't finished it off yet. Don't worry. We were doing a little schedule yesterday. So 25 grams of ginger. So, you are? Yeah, no, we're not making it 30. So 25 is enough. 25 is plenty. You could rein it back a little bit if you really wanted to, but as they used to say up north, man up. Go on. 80 grams of ginger. 80 grams of ginger. 80 grams of Panda. Okay. Right, I think we've got everything. Sweetener, golden linseed, ground ginger. Pardon? Yeah, I'm just going through the dry ingredients because the dry are at the top. So all the dry ingredients. I mean, it smells amazing. You got that biscuity. I always think linseed, when you've blitzed it, has a slight biscuity smell to it, especially when you add ginger in with it. So everything can go into the middle. We've had a little well. Everything can go into the middle, and we can get that mixed in. This is quite a thick. Again, it's been a while. This is quite a thick mix. So, and the butter. When we first did this, like, the amount of butter that was going in, it was like, yeah, but it works. And again, it really quickly comes together. And then you really do get the intense gingery smell. Beautiful. So, again, nice, thick cake batter. Yeah. It just takes that split second for the ginger to get to the back of the throat and go, hello, I'm here. Yeah, it's good. I'm just thinking about the sweetness level. But the one we had yesterday was perfect, wasn't it? That doesn't taste overly sweet. Well, I'm going to leave it. Maybe it's different once it's cooked. Just tastes a little. Could you use something instead of ginger? Not for parkin, no. No. I mean, the only thing you would replace it with would be something that contains ginger, like mixed spice. So it's not really meant to be anything else. I'm going to leave it. We could add, but I think it's because there's. I don't know. It's a bit weird actually. It feels like it's a little bit undersweetened, but I know it can't be at 100 grams of sweetener in there. I think it's because it's quite a powerful flavour from the ginger.
Trust your recipe.
Yeah, trust the recipe. Okay, so I'm just lining this. If your cake tin is a shallow one, brownie tin type thing, then you probably wouldn't need to line it because it'd be easier to get out. But I won't get the cake out of here because it's so deep. So again, I'm just doing this to make it easier on myself later. Obviously, because it's 1/3 butter or something like it, as it cools down, it's going to thicken quite rapidly. So, as you can see there, it's gone quite firm. So it will need pushing into place. Again, traditional parkin's got things like treacle in it, golden syrup. You know, it was a proper, full-on sugar overload parkin. Right, I'm just going to just helps get it into the to the corners of the circle. Okay. Right, nicely done. 180, 30 minutes. Oh, nice. So you can't quite see, but the loaf is over the tin height now. We've got a nice sort of dome, so it's probably got a little bit more growth on it, but it's above the tin now, which is fantastic. Right, so easy today. I made it easy for myself, didn't I? I'll do a quick wash and we'll start. I mean, this is the most complicated one. However, it still is fairly simple. So gingerbread pandas. I'm not even gonna have a dishwasher load of bowls to go in there. Gingerbread. So these are the ginger pecan bites. We're just going to make them a little bit flatter, and so to roll them out. So normally, we don't normally we normally spoon them, don't we? Coffee scoop, and then press them down. So hi Elaine. Yeah, okay. So I'm using this recipe, but I'm not using this method, if you know what I mean. So to actually sort of create the biscuits. So everything's the same. So 30 grams of Panda. This makes 12 portions. 30 grams of Panda, 50 grams of sweetener, 50 grams of pecans, more ground ginger. I mean, We do like our ginger. You don't have to sort of do ginger everything today. Is that basically like a gingerbread man? Or is it like so it's the ginger biscuits, yeah, the ginger biscuits, but I'm making them into little gingerbread men because the texture is about right for them. So it's the same recipe. It's a ginger pecan bite recipe. I'm just going to turn them into, hopefully, gingerbread pandas. We're identifying as a panda today, yes? Okay, 1 egg. So maybe I double this up. Yeah, I'm going to do a double portion. So I'm going to do. I can use the same. Use the same. Nothing wrong with that. So how much butter? No, I can't, can I? Because it's 100 grams of butter again. So it has to be this single portion. Oh, it'll be the lid from that. It's fine. It's fine. We're steaming a little bit, not steaming, smoking a little bit from that one, but it was used as a slow cook recently.
So if you wanted to double up with the butter, you can have gingerbread goat pandas.
No, we're not using goat butter.
Otherwise, you have to go to the
Let
shop.
me see what I've got in the way of butter, because then we can just sort of factor it up, can't we?
Maybe whisks and spatulas. What's that?
Right, so 150. Oh, we're going to be close. 200. 202 to be exact. All right, so we will melt that. Hopefully it's melted. Yeah, melted and cooled butter. Right. So blitz the pecans to a fine crumb. So I've got them ready somewhere. Let me get rid of this one behind you. And so get rid of this one. So I'm going to blitz the pecans in mini food chopper. They're obviously a very soft nut, so they don't need the intense blades. 50, so 100 grams of pecans. There's an extra one in there, but I'm not going to stick the fingers inside. Wrong one. Sweetener. Another 100 grams. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we don't need anything else in there. They're going to not stick. The idea with the sugar in there, the sweetener in there, is to prevent the pecans from overheating again and then stick it together. Nice. So we've got a nice pecan crumb there, fairly well blitzed. Okay, so the blitzed sweetener and pecans in there. Difference between different nuts. Yes, with crabs. Yeah, not crabs. Yes, there is a significant difference in carb values. If you don't like pecans or you want to replace them, then change them for Brazils. They're a harder nut to blitz, so be careful with the blender that you use. They'll work in a bullet fine. These are 4.2 grams per 100, so that's why those work particularly well. Brazils are even lower in carb value and are cheaper generally. So yeah, change them for that. You could, if you wanted to, almonds, but they're just as expensive as pecans. They're sort of 13, 14 pound a kilo. Just need a fraction longer on. What are you? All right. Fraction longer for the butter. Okay. So, Panda flour and ginger to go into here. Panda flour, we need 60 grams. And more ginger. So 30 grams of ginger. So could this be something? It could, yeah. I was just thinking that. What could you replace this with? Haven't tried it. You are? Yeah, no. It's actually going to be. Right, there was 29 grams there. I mean, talk about being lucky today. Spot on with the butter. Spot on with the ginger. At least we're going to have our ginger products for the next fortnight ready done. Okay, let me just read what I'm supposed to be doing. Blitz. Okay, so mix this lot, make a well, and then add the egg, so which is now 2 eggs, the vanilla, and then the butter. Okay, I'm also going to be adding. Oh, actually, yeah. So I'll only use a small amount of vanilla, because we've also got our gingerbread special ingredients drops. We haven't used this yet. I suppose these, can you smell it? These essences, they are very alcohol-y in the way they smell. They're because they're super concentrated. So they're not sweet at all. It does smell like rum, yeah. I'll put that in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, okay. So we'll see what sort of different flavour that gives us. A couple of eggs. Oh, and I was going to use a little bit of vanilla extract. Okay. Okay, so there's no other liquids. No. Yep. Nice. Okay. Wow. So if I remember rightly, allowed to rest for 10 minutes. We need to let this rest a little bit so we can then roll it out. I am going to use parchment paper to roll this out. So even my fancy new green mat, it'll just stick to it. And we want to try and get it reasonably thin, because we know the ginger biscuits, ginger pecan bites do have a bit of a snap to them. If we can get them thinner, then we'll get a bit more of a crunch as well. Okay, so it's quite a firm biscuit dough. Oh yeah, the pecans do really help it as well, because it's already got partial crunch to it before it's baked. So I'm going to let that rest for a couple of minutes. I'll just get rid of some of these bits. That's more fiery than the parkin.
With the gingerbread extract.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't need any of these anymore. So while we wait for a couple of minutes, and we've got loads of stuff happening in the next sort of like half an hour now, I'll start rolling the gingerbread out, gingerbread pandas, but 16 minutes left on the parkin and 26 minutes left on the loaf. So we'll at least. she's in charge of the secondary laptop and posting any links that we might need. Although we didn't talk about any links today, did we? No. So before we do more ginger stuff, let me show you what we're doing for dinner and answer some of the questions that I got during the week. This is belly pork. We went to the butcher's yesterday and they've got this belly pork. It's on the bone still. So when I bought it, it was 3 or 4 pieces of belly pork. So not necessarily the same that you find in the supermarkets where it's just the top part of the belly pork. It's actually a much bigger strip. Think about a big piece of bacon, but with the bone on. So there's about 1 kilo of belly pork here, including the outer skin layer as well. Now, belly pork, where do you buy your big bowl of vanilla from? Actually, you can get that in no, but you can get that in some cake making shops. So there's a specialist cake supplier near me, and they sell it. You'll probably find it online cheaper. I'll say that. If you're interested, it's called Prima. The brand is Prima. Okay, these are 500 mils. I mean, yes, and it's the same stuff that you would use when you buy those little bottles, which are maybe £1. It's the same. So there's no sugars, there's no extra carbs, there's nothing in it. So have a look, 500 ml Prima. So belly pork can be quite tough. Sometimes needs longer cooking, and it's difficult to then, if you want it crunchy, to then not overcook it, so it becomes almost inedible. I'll come back to that in a second, Francis. I can't do 2 things at once. So one of the tricks to tenderize it is to soak it in bicarbs. So literally all I did with this, 2 teaspoons of bicarbs over the pork. So I think there was 4 pieces with the bone in there, and then just covered it in water, cold water, and just let it sit for an hour. It doesn't even need that long. You'll be surprised as to how the texture of the meat changes just in that short soaking period. So when it came to prepping it, so cutting it into these little squares, it was actually much easier to do after it had been soaked. all I've done since. So drain off the water, and then cut it into little cubes, and then I've seasoned it with ginger, usual things: ginger, garlic, rice wine vinegar, a splash of liquid aminos, and we're gonna pan fry that first, but with the lid on, so it's retaining the liquid and almost like letting it steam in its own juices, and then to finish it, it'll just get tipped into a air frying basket and popped into one of the ninjas to crispen up. So there you go. Belly pork, any pork. If you want to soak any pork, it's a very small amount of bicarbs. I say a teaspoon to maybe about 200, 300 mils worth of water, and then just soak it. Quick question about dumplings. Pre-keto, I made them with self-raising flour, plain flour, with added baking powder to enable them to expand. Is there something in Panda flour that makes them expand? Psyllium will make it expand, yes. There is a recipe, and I can't, because it was Liam's creation, the dumplings. I can't remember. I am actually going to be making them soon. Dumplings. Yeah, there's no raising agents in them. So he just relied on the psyllium for the expansion. Yeah. I mean, that recipe's... thanks, Francis. Yeah, that recipe has been I think, on the website for a good year or so. And I know it's been made many times. So, yeah, no, I think purely... I mean, I suppose if you want sort of bigger, fluffier, lighter dumplings, then yes, I would go with bicarbs, just a touch of bicarbs for that recipe. 200 grams. It's just over 200 grams. I mean, maybe 5 grams at the max, just a teaspoon to go in there. Right. Okay. What we're looking for. All right. Okay, so this is set again. It's 1/3 butter almost. So it is setting. Maybe it needs a little bit longer. Oh. I've now got the dumpling recipe open. I don't want that. Did you get vanilla flavor or vanilla essence? It's essence. It's the essence. I've never seen anything other than that. Where I got them from, that's the only version they had. So I don't know what the vanilla flavor is. G for ginger. Okay. You're welcome. All right. I was just making sure that I'd added everything in. I was just mentally going through the recipe. Go, okay, so this is everything. Okay, that's better.
So we do one sheet.
No, I'm gonna have to do. I won't be able to do it as one.
Because it will expand.
Well, it's just trying. Like we saw with the pasta last night, it's quite difficult to get it thin when you're trying to do such a large amount. So what I will do is use maybe half of it to start with. Yeah. And then
Gingerbread pandas.
you what, sorry? Yeah, but they wouldn't crisp up then, would they? They wouldn't go firm. So we want them. Let me just wash my hands a second. So I'm going to try and do this without a top sheet. So just be a little bit more flour sort of over the top, and a light roll. Thank you, Jen. I'm just trying to judge how thin I need to try and make this, or how thick I need to leave this to get sort of the ideal texture. When we do the cookies normally, we'd scoop an amount out and then use another tray to press them down so they get so they're evenly pressed. I think we're sort of about there. I mean, it is fairly thin. Now it's cold, but I've got a feeling that the butter was a little bit too warm. So I might actually do another sheet and let this, cool down even more, because I know that if I try and cut this, and quite easily show you, if I try and cut this and then lift it, it's not going to hold. Well, I say it's not going to hold. I don't know. I'm guessing that it's not going to hold. I'll do some mini ones. It sort of feels okay. It's weird. Yeah, actually, I mean, we'll do a tray of mini ones. The bigger versions will definitely be a little bit more tricky. While the dough is, blimey, my tray's hot as well. Everything's warm today. I need the tray cold. Hang on, I'll just take it off there. It's butter, so we need cold trays. No. Let me find. Oh, I'll use a board. I just need something to pop these on. Okay. So Emma's made some little chocolate buttons, but they're the size of the panda's head, or the cutter's head. Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, this piece, I'm going to cut lots of little ones, because the longer I leave it on here, the more it's going to cool down, and the easier it's going to be to lift them up.
Is it a cupboard of pandas or an embarrassment?
It's a cupboard of pandas. Yeah, it's a cupboard of pandas. It's both. It's an embarrassment and a cupboard. Put the tray in the fridge. Well, we don't need to now. I've just had it sat on top of the oven, and what I don't want is for them to sort of go soft while they're here waiting to go in the oven. So it's fine now. It's fine now.
overcrowding again. You did a good job of that. It was chaos.
It's chaos. It's many Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you know what I should do? I should put that in the fridge. But that'll help me out next time round. Alright, 2 minutes away from parking coming out, 10 minutes away from the loaf. We all know that Emma's dying to do this, really. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. No, but actually to do the mini pandas as well. This is right on your street. This is.
I was just thinking how it suddenly decided to be 25 degrees again.
I know.
Like your hands
I know. We suddenly got brilliant blue skies and 20-odd degree heat again.
melting pastry.
Yeah. However, see how much she sells. What else we got to tell you? I can't think now. What else? Oh, we started filming the online masterclass this week, which was fun. I normally prefer, if I'm doing stuff to camera, actually, even though you can't talk to me apart from in the messages, I've always preferred to have at least somebody there. You know, just a bit of conversation. So the only person that was there with me was Ella, and she had to be quiet. Right, which one was that? That's that one. Whoa. Right, parking's done. Right. Coco's gone outside. You can smell the ginger. I mean, she is also ginger, but yeah, you can just about see that. Let's see if it lifts out. Gonna let it cool down a bit. It's gonna not break. It's gonna squish a bit too much. I can feel it's done though. I can feel it's done. It's firm all the way around. So I'm gonna leave that there for a few minutes. Let it start to cool down, and then we'll lift the paper out. The last time I did it was in a brownie tray, which is better, but it's too big for the foodie. So lesson learned for next time round. I got loads of these little ones out of this mix. So this is the equivalent to one mix. And actually, the middle section is still fairly thick. Oh, broke his arm. We've got a wonky panda there. Would you believe it? Without even trying, I've almost filled the tray. And one short of having a totally filled tray.
You can do one more.
Yeah. Oh, that's the easy bit. That's the easy bit, Elaine. Right. I'm just going to take a small amount. So off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Okay. So we've got 20 little biscuits out of that. We definitely should have let it cool down a little bit more.
Just because you didn't even need a rolling pin.
Well, you don't need a rolling pin for doing this. I mean, you could definitely do this by hand. I mean, you rolling it out was only because I was doing sort of many of them, yeah. But, you know, it is still fairly soft.
Did that come off?
No, his leg fell off. Where's say you will make? Yeah, exactly. I just leave it to cool down there first. It was too thick in the middle. That's why he did that. It's just too thick. All right, let's try again. if I can manage to do them, Lisa, then yes. Right. Okay. Okay. There we go. Come on. Okay.
That one will be mine.
That's yours. Right. Okay. Okay. 6 minutes. This is coming out. Yeah, that's nice and golden on top. And to be honest, if I need to put it in for any longer, I'll drop it into the foodie. I'll whack it in there just to finish it off. One tray to another. Nice and easy. There you go. Shouldn't need to. Yes, I'm going to. I'm going to now whack all of that in with the stuff in the fridge. So that can go in 6 minutes. Right. Okay, that's better. Clearly, once it's been in the fridge, you don't want to handle it much. I mean, I'm just squishing those two bits together. You could cover if you've got a big enough fridge. Cover the get a piece rolled out and then pop that whole tray in the fridge and let it cool down. It is cooler. It's a damn sight cooler than it was. I'm going to give it another couple of minutes. So this is what Emma was up to this morning, for those that haven't seen. Cola bottles. You've been asked for the recipe, haven't you, for those as well? Have you seen it?
These ones are good. These are the best.
These are really good. These are really, really good. So proper cola bottles. And then, what are they?
Little teddies.
Yeah, but there was what's the sweet that's they are?
Oh, I don't.
No, there is a sweet. You see, it's the tiny little bear, teddy, whatever. No, I don't know. Come on, someone knows. There's an actual sweet. And then, just for shits and giggles.
No. No, I think you're a snowman. You're a star.
Snowman. Look at the size of that.
I needed a big.
Gummy bears. Thank you.
Yes,
Gummy bears. Look at the size of that.
There's a star in there as well. I needed to use it. I had run out of all of the cola bottle space, so I needed a big sweet. So they're yours, Mark.
Okay, look at
that. Big ones.
It's a cola star. Yeah, but anyway, the taste wise is that flavor drops? Is that the special ingredients? Right. Okay. Yeah, we're really good. Really, really good.
That's at least the gold ones.
Shits and giggles. Right, okay. I'll be able to get this out now, even if it's just going to tip the tray. To get 4 for a penny back in the day.
That's it, yeah.
Right, there we go.
It's just the best.
Yeah. So we'll need to let that cool down before slicing it up. But it is meant to be slightly gooey, slightly dense. So it's not a light, fluffy cake, you know. So there's plenty of recipes for light and fluffy, heavy and dense. Yeah, heavy on the flavour, dense in its texture, with that slight biscuity. Well, to replicate the oats, yeah. So that's a slight texture to it. Right. 2 minutes. I'm not going to start that until I've got that, and then I can put that in. You know what I mean? So I'm new here. I'm so impressed. Never imagined the keto could be like this. I've been doing right. There's no right or wrong. We've just been doing this for quite a long time to understand that you can still make a huge amount of things that you probably thought you had to leave behind. It just takes a little bit of time, practice, imagination. You know, so let's say right or wrong. I don't agree with that. What you've been doing has been hopefully has been working for you, and you've been enjoying it. But there are things you can do to keep it, because one of the biggest issues for anyone sort of starting, and it doesn't really matter whether you're here to learn about keto or here to learn about low carb or here to learn about gluten-free. We all have to start somewhere, and that's usually cutting out those big problem areas. Creative thinking, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Initially, when you're starting, that creative thinking can't happen because you have to get rid of the old stuff first. You're never going to go, because they'll never taste the same. You can't go from eating Warburton's white sort of rolls to eating a Panda roll or the loaf, because they're so different. They're so different. So it is sometimes you go, right, okay, I'll let that go for a while, and then I can reintroduce, as my taste buds change, I can reintroduce other things. You know, cakes will taste different if you've gone from sugar to using an erythritol stevia base. They'll always taste different. Not using white flour and using Panda or using ground almonds or using, the alternatives, the textures are always going to be different. So it's just a learning process. That's all it is. Once you feel ready to introduce new things, there's hundreds of recipes that you can follow. Okay.
We're having it with cream.
What was that?
We're having it with cream.
Having it with cream, slathered in butter is that's how we would do it in Manchester. The parkin, slather it in butter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we had it with cream yesterday. Right, loaf. Let me come back to that question in a second. So the loaf should, providing you have lined the tin properly, should just pop out. Right. This is going to be sort of more visual until you get to sort of like get your loaf out of the oven. Take the paper off. I mean, yes, it's hot, so if you want to protect your hands, don't forget. These hands have been working in and around food for 30 years, so I don't have much in the way of sensitive fingertips anymore. You want to be able to hear that it's cooked. You can stick a knife in if you want, but it may not sort of tell you the exact whether it's cooked or not. If you can tap it and it sounds like it's hollow, it's like a drum. If it's dead, if it's the dull sound, means it's still doughy inside. But I can hear that's tapping like a drum. and I can feel the vibrations coming through. So I know it's light inside. So again, that's texture-wise is going to be different to a white loaf. This is a flavored loaf. It's got a good crust to it. This one, the white Panda definitely has probably one of the best crusts to it. Get it out of the wrapper, get it out of the tin, get it out of the wrapper, and let it cool. And the best trick is turn it upside down and let it cool that way around. It'll lose some more of its volume. Don't, please, any of these loaves, any loaf, don't cut into it while it's hot, because you'll go, oh, it's doughy. It will be doughy because it's still cooling. There's still a huge amount of water in there. I mean, if I weigh this now, so it's 468 grams as it's come out of the oven. In the next hour or two, that'll reduce by about another 20 to 30 grams. That's how much water's still in there that's going to come out. It will reduce in weight. If you start slicing into it now, it's going to feel like it's undercooked. Let it fully cool down. That's with any of the breads. Okay. B, let's have a look. Does the recipe book contain many vegetarian recipes, or is there a lot of meat dishes? This book is predominantly how to use Panda, not the full recipe. So let me give you an example. So egg pasta. That's how you make the pasta. What you're going to do with it is entirely up to you. We had it last night as Panda strips, which we served with lamb. But we're having it again during the week, which will be salmon, but you can make that into whatever you want. That's a chicken dish, onion barges, pizza swirls. So again, the pizza swirls, Panda, it's the making of the dough. So it's sort of the replacement to where the white flour would have been. Dumplings, cheese scones, cheese and chive souffle, chaffles, the sauce, the cabbage bake. I mean, I think if I look at the out of the 60-something recipes that are in the book, anything that contains meat, none of the first section because they're all breads, savoury, 1, 2, only 2, 3 recipes in the savoury. That's out of 24, and sweet. They're quite clearly none of them contain meat. So actually, the entire book only contains 3 recipes that actually specify using meat. So one of them is the crispy coated chicken. So it's making a coating for the chicken thighs. So you could use the coating for whatever it is you want to coat. The fish cakes, you could change the protein in the fish cakes. So yeah, the actual this book isn't a meal cookbook. It's a how do you replace the usual the bit that goes around the protein, whether it be pastry, whether it be pizza base, whether it be bread. So yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but the intention of the book was to sort of show how to make some of the staples. There are, and certainly part of the masterclass, the online version, is going to be meal creations, so whole meal creations, but they're long form videos, just showing you how to replicate entire recipes using where Panda is used as an ingredient. Right, okay. Let's do ginger. Let's get these little biscuits in. So 180, 15 minutes. Oh. I think next door still got the dog out. Here's Coco snorting under the fence.
She's gone.
Is she? Oh, is she? Right, okay. Right, okay. So first one's in. Let's get the second ones rolled out. Much better. So let's see if we can make some slightly bigger gingerbread. Pandas. 4?
Is it one of us?
There's got to be more than that out of that. Way more than there's at least 5.
Have you got any dog shaped ones?
I haven't got any dog-shaped ones, no. Let's say probably yes. I'll keep an eye on them. I'll see, because they're not much smaller than the cookies. Really. I mean, we got 12 at the cookies, or maybe half the size. I don't know. We'll see. I'd say 6. All right. Let's. Do you know what? Let's green man. Let's weigh the dough. Let's start with, what do we have? Right, we got 400 grams. We're not having 80-gram biscuits, all right? Ridiculous. We'll get 8. 50 grams each. We'll get 8, all right? So if I break this in half and work on ice cream. All right. Again, it's still soft, or soft enough that there's very little pressure going on here. You can see that. Very little pressure. Okay. So I went a little bit too quickly over that. There we go. Easily get 4 out of that. They do look quite cool. I mean, I will admit, they look good. I'm actually going to get 4 out. See, obviously we don't want them too thick, because otherwise they'll just be doughy. They won't crispen up. So we're probably going to get 5 per half. So clearly we'll get 10.
Make them into a cyclops with things. That's bad.
Yeah, and the rest. How crazy is that? We're going to get at least 2 more out of that. So we're going to get 12 minimum out of the mix, and yet we only got 20. We've got 20 small ones, and yet.
Did you half it? Did you actually half the?
Well, I mean, I didn't weigh it,
right.
But I, halved it by eye. Yeah, me neither. I mean, what would it weigh? It'd weigh 80, 130, 145, 245, 300. Okay, there's probably 100 less in grams in that than there was in that. So because this way, no, 50, yeah. There's not going to be.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they freeze, or the parkin absolutely freezes anyway. I mean, the parkin's great out of the freezer. The biscuits, I don't know. I'm sure we won't struggle to finish them off by the end of the week. Here's me thinking, actually, 2 hours today was going to be absolutely loads of time, and I'd finish by like 3:30. So, while I think next week, obviously not here because of the workshop. We'll be back the following week, but then I think we're back for 2 weeks, and then there's the event weekend. So if you haven't been to, and if you're in the central part of the UK, so if you can get to Birmingham, then on the Saturday and the Sunday, there's an event on which we're attending. Saturday is free from, so it's free from dairy, free from gluten. So they're not specifically low carb, and many of the companies are definitely not low carb or keto. How I say, we'll be there, and there'll be a few other crossover people. We're obviously there on the Sunday as well. So if you're in, actually, I think the free from now sold out. I think they've. It's always the busy one. Oh, look at that! I can. Just squeeze him in. Yeah, so if you're in and around Birmingham area, then come down to us. The Sunday show, the keto show, is their last keto show. So next year, they're only going to be running free from shows. Come on. Oh, I lost his foot.
It's because of all of the personal space has been invaded.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not you that's doing the event, is it? It's just
No, we're not hosting the event.
Joe's house.
Oh, sorry. Are you planning? Oh, hello, Joe. Yeah, sorry, no, this is an event that we attend as Panda Pantry. How you doing, Joe, as well? Good to see you. Yeah, so this isn't an event for us. This is, if you go and look at you have to go and look at Keto Low Carb Festival, and you'll find the link for the Free From Festival as well. Down your end, Bristol. So that'll be March next year. You're in around there, aren't you now? Yeah, so this is obviously, it's not our event. We're just an attendee to the both days. Great little, you're in Plymouth now, blimey. I think that you've gone that far south. Yeah, Panda Paul is there. That's all right. Yeah, don't push out too far now, Joe. You'll be on the pirate ships out there. I only ever got to Plymouth once, living in Torquay. I will admit I don't remember a great deal about it. It was a drinking weekend. I missed the Ginger Fest. If you can travel to, sorry, I'm just seeing that. If you can travel to Bristol, it'd be amazing. I will admit the Bristol show is. It's the location of the Bristol one. The big warehouse. The big warehouse. Don't remember it? Oh, I'm trying to treat this as pastry and I can't pick it up. Still over here, but what's going on? And yes, fantastic. Well, I'm sure we'll be in touch before Bristol next year, but it's sometime in March, so it'd be amazing to catch up. Yeah, remember it? So we are going to get a baker's dozen, which is beautiful. I know exactly what you mean, Elaine.
So what are you going to make?
Well, I've got one more to make, and then there'll be a little bit of dough ball left. So I don't know. Let's see what we get. Right, we've got 2 minutes left on that. So shall I check them? Because that was the full 15 minutes. They're not looking overdone, so I am going to leave them in for the full 15. Yeah. They're certainly not burning at all. No,
Have the red panda head.
Have the red panda head?
We have the red panda head.
Oh, right. Okay, I get what you mean. Yeah, the cutter.
And there's no hearts. And all sorts of things.
I could probably got more. I mean, look at the thickness of these. They're proper. They're proper thick biscuits. So what's in the oven is the mini pandas. Yeah, we've still got quite a lot left. Oh, have you only just joined us, Sandra? Right, so this is the ginger pecan bites.
With baby pandas.
They're the babies,
These are
and then these are the monsters. These are the big ones. These are the big ones. There's still plenty, right? So what would you like me to do with this then?
other part.
Is that tucked away in that lot there?
Oh, there's the panda. Next to 67859. Yellow.
Next to 67859. Oh yeah, all right, okay, yes, okay. So we've got panda.
Red panda.
It's a red panda.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a red panda. So specifically a red. See, I wasn't prepped for this. Specifically a red panda cutter, which doesn't really work because the face shape. I mean, I'll try it. I'll see if I can get this to.
Press it in.
Yeah. All right.
It is like a cat. Yeah, it does look like a cat.
It does look like a cat, yes. The problem with it is that you can't get the bloody biscuit out of the frame now.
I can.
Go on, you see if you can get it out of there. Okay.
Be gentle. It's easy.
This one's just going to be a big.
It's fine.
Okay, all right. That's about the best we've ever had out of that. You see the red panda face.
I think it's meant for a fondant item.
Yeah, it's meant for something that's a little bit more stable than
I
that.
couldn't resist it, so I tried it.
All right. Well, I am mightily pleased with my army of. Let me put them the right way around. There we go. There's my mini army of gingerbread pandas.
It worked well.
It worked really well. Well, that's bloody hot still. So I just want to get. Watch your face. Sorry, that cloth is
As
damp.
if the table isn't big enough.
No. Cloth was damp and it was creating
Right.
steam in my hand. Okay. Get them out of there quickly. In fact, they can come straight off the paper as well.
I remember you've done it.
No, they've worked really, really well. No, they've worked really, really well. Right, so let's do. I'm gonna have to just put a few on here. There's no way I'm gonna get all of the big ones on here. Okay.
You definitely feed everyone with this recipe.
Yeah.
We've not got any bacon trays.
Okay. So we'll do. I'll do them afterwards. Let's have a little. So these are really held up well. Obviously, they're going to. They're going to firm up when they cool down. They're very hot, so still quite soft. We haven't done. Well, we sort of tried shortbread a little while ago. Haven't come back to it. We will do, obviously, in the next few weeks. I'll be looking at recipes. By the way, the ginger in that is amazing. That's just proper gingery. Yeah, we'll look at sort of the gingerbread. Sorry, the shortbread.
That's a ginger.
The shortbread.
You can put ginger in your
Yeah.
shortbread.
We'll try and work on that one. I know. It is a favourite. It's something that we know you can convert the recipe. You just can't quite get the same snap crunch. No different to that. The snap and the crunch on standard. It's because of the carbs, isn't it? It's because of the sugar and the carbs. I mean, and there's no way of getting around that. Parkin. Again, this is meant to be. This is if you're baking it at home. It's meant to be. It feels like it's undercooked. It's 100% not. It's meant to be a little bit stodgy, a little bit sort of not saying gooey, but just dense. So the bottom is still a tiny bit doughy, but that's exactly how it's supposed to be. I'm going to let that cool down now. Elaine's counting.
I've not had any yet. What's it?
Yeah, so the big ones of those. So we're sort of like we're done now anyway.
It's a ginger cake.
Oh yeah, we haven't. Yeah, very moist.
Yeah,
It's a good way of saying it. I've tipped it upside down to get it to cool down. So that's lost 10 grams while we've been chatting away. That's down to 458, and it was for 68.
So it's not sliced and sliced.
Yeah. So it's whole. Now, I will slice a little bit because we'll have I want to have a little taste of it, but clearly the two things that I've eaten while we've been doing the session are both heavy ginger. So the back of my palate is quite triggered. Triggered. Okay. It's still warm, but let's pretend that this has been cooling for like 4 hours. 3 or 4 hours. Huh? Before you do this, I'm going to be very gentle with the slice, not going to apply any pressure, and I'm just going to cut through. That's worked out absolutely beautifully. So it's a very gentle cut while it's warm. You can sort of see, I can't change the, stick in front of my face. There you go. And it'll focus on. Yeah, I can see it. It's because he's trying to focus on my face. So there you go. I've got a loaf for a head. But you can see it's sort of it is that crossover between a bread and a cake. So it's not a bread texture, but it's not quite a cakey texture either. It smells good. It smells good. Yeah. It smells good. It smells good. I haven't got any butter to spread on. I got no butter left. We got none whatsoever. But the crust is great on these. Oh yeah. The lemon really works. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. So it's an unusual flavour for a bread, for a loaf. But pair that with, oh blimey, some smoked salmon. Beautiful. Any salads really, any I know we're coming to the end of summer, but that's a perfect side bread, side to any sort of like fresh salad. Really good, really nice. So don't be afraid to have a little play with the flavors. With this sort of loaf, sort of 10 to 20 grams of flavor in total. So, I added the 10 grams of lemon, about 10 grams of lemon, lemon juice, which replaced the apple cider vinegar, the zest of 1 lemon, and then a handful of rosemary, probably in total, no more than 20 grams. It'll give it a nice light flavor. You don't need to go crazy with it. Just experiment with the flavors, whatever it is you want. If it's something that's visual, like the lemon, because you can see speckled yellow through there. So you're going to do something like the sun-dried tomatoes. You don't need much. Nice, chopped. Olives, green and black, chopped up through the loaf. Perfect. What would you? Any suggestions?
I tried to go for the panda stuffing mix there.
Panda stuffing mix.
Is in like the herbs that go into.
Oh right, so the sage and the right, so quite a herby one. Use jalapenos, so anything like that. Any of the capers, yeah, nice. Right, there you go. You get to go home early today. It's 10 to 4. Thank you very much for joining. For those that are coming to the workshop, look forward to seeing you next week. Again, we are planning a busy day. So bring plenty of tubs, whatever it is you're going to carry all of your goodies home in. Yeah. So sensible footwear, stuff that you can stand up in for 6 hours. We'll do a training drill in the yard. We'll do a little bit of PT before we start. No. Otherwise, see you at various points during the week, whether you're coming along to the sessions tomorrow night, members, usual chat. Monday night. It is Monday tomorrow, isn't it? Yes. Thursday, members cooking session, doing it's a recipe that it's the Turkish dish. I can't remember what it's called now. I'm doing something new on Thursday. I can't. I think it's the bread stuff bread, isn't it? But it's like a bread pastry. It's not a bread and it's not a pastry. It's a bit of an in-betweeny. We haven't even attempted it yet.
Is it the picture that's could you please make me this?
Yes.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I can't remember what it's called, but it looks
Yes.
really good.
So there's a full-on Wing It Wednesday happening Thursday night at 5. And whatever else. Thank you very much. Thanks, Elaine. Thanks for joining in. I'll see you during the week. Bye. Have a nice evening. Go for a walk in the sun. Or if it's raining, go for a walk in the rain. Bye.